NBA 2K24 has just released, and there is no better way to get into things than by simming a full season of your favorite NBA team. And so today, I'm going to be simming through an entire 82-game season and playoffs for the Dallas Mavericks. Now, here's the catch. I'm not going to be impacting the outcome in any way. I won't be making any trades, assigning minutes to anyone, or touching any of the extra settings. The computer is going to handle everything. In fact, the only setting you'll see me change is the quarter length. That way statistics might be a little more synced up with what we'd expect in real life. Now, before we do any simming, I think the very first step is checking out exactly how 2K grades the Mavericks roster. Luka Doncic, the Mavericks star guard, comes in with a 95 overall. If you look down further in the columns, you see his defense is even pretty good in the game. Not sure how we'll see that play out this season, but he's there. Kyrie Irving with a 91 overall, Tim Hardaway, Josh Green, Jaden Hardy, heck, even Dwight Powell's up there. Newly acquired Grant Williams, chilling at a 76. Seth Curry, back in his Mavericks blue. It's great to see him back. Maxi Kleber, Derrick Jones Jr., new Dallas Maverick. And then we have Rashawn Holmes, the traded center from the Kings on draft night for one of these two rookies right here, Derek Lively and Omax Prosper. Now, at the very bottom of the roster, we have Greg Brown, Joe Wieskamp, and AJ Lawson. I'm not sure where some of the other two-way guys are or smaller contracts like Jelly Walker or Mike Miles. 2K doesn't have them included. Now, one of the things I always look at when starting one of these is the power rankings. So here we have the Warriors, the Lakers, and the Heat rounding out the top three. I believe that's the Rockets I see. Wow, 2K loves its young guys. The Rockets come in at number 7 for this season. Bucks, Wemby and the Spurs, the Portland Trailblazers, Chicago Bulls, even the defending champion Denver Nuggets are down at 12. And your very own Dallas Mavericks come in at number 14, one spot ahead of the Phoenix Suns. Now, I think it's only right to kind of carefully go through the first couple games before simming all the way to the trade deadline. And so we are going to go ahead and sim through October 25th, the very first opening day game for the Mavs. They are playing the Spurs, and they get a win, a 108-106 win to start the season. Keldon Johnson and Wembanyama show up for the Spurs, but on the Mavericks side of things, Kyrie goes huge. 27 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists for him. Seth Curry, back in Dallas, back to scoring, and Luka finishes just short of a triple-double in his 34 minutes with 3 steals and 2 blocks as well. Now, we'll sim one more game kind of before we get into things. It is the return of Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith versus Kyrie Irving, the big trade that went down last season, and the Mavericks get the win again. They start the season 2-0. Kyrie Irving has 40 points. Luka chips in 30 as well. Jaden Hardy with some good minutes off the bench. What a start for the Mavs. In their returns, Dorian Finney-Smith puts up 7 points. Dinwiddie is barely anywhere to be found on the box score. What a win for the Mavericks. So after an encouraging start, we are going to go ahead and sim all the way through the trade deadline, which is February 8th. So we're actually going to go over to the next day and sim all the way through that. As a reminder, I will not be touching a single thing. If the Mavericks make any trades, it's all on the PC. So here we go. The win-loss column is down in the bottom right, if you guys can see that. 13-8, 14. They're sitting a little above 500 so far. Losing to some teams like the Timberwolves and the Rockets and the Trailblazers doesn't look great. But you know what? 25 wins at this point in the season is not bad. They are on a very good pace. They're about to get to 30 wins. No, we are not going to pick the All-Star game. And as we come up on the trade deadline, the Dallas Mavericks are 31-22. They are on a decent pace to have a good season here. So let's go see if they made any moves, if there's any injuries, what the roster is shaping up to be, and some of the stats. So the first thing we're going to look at is the MVP race, and Luka Doncic is at number 2 right now. Joel Embiid's having a fantastic season, but Luka, 32.5 points per game, 11 rebounds, 9.3 assists, and almost 2 steals. That would be a fantastic season out of Doncic. As far as the other awards go, Rookie of the Year, no Mavs on that list. I'm not sure Derek Lively or Max is playing enough. And then Sixth Man of the Year is next. Christian Wood, the newly departed Dallas Maverick, the new Los Angeles Laker, is in the Sixth Man of the Year running. That's tough to see after he wasn't really able to bring a whole lot of wins to the Mavs. Now, the next thing we got to look at is, did the Mavericks make any moves? It is already the trade deadline, and so let's find out. The Dallas Mavericks did make a move. They signed point guard John Wall to a one-year deal. They traded Seth Curry and Rashawn Holmes for Kenyon Martin and Robert Covington. And they also traded rookie Olivier Maxence-Prosper and Derrick Jones Jr. to the Warriors for Kevon Looney and a first-round pick. The Mavericks may have finally gotten the center that they coveted, but at the price of their new shiny rookie. Now, I don't love giving up Maxence-Prosper, but they did get the big man they needed and got a first-round pick back on top of it. Now, where did all of these trades land the Mavericks so far? They are third in the Western Conference, only 3 games behind the first-seeded Golden State Warriors. The Lakers are sandwiched in between them. However, they're only a game and a half above the 6th-seeded Phoenix Suns. It is a tight race in the West. Now, before we sim the rest of the season, let's first take a look at what the Mavericks players are averaging. So we've already talked about Luka. His numbers are crazy, but Kyrie Irving coming in at maybe a little bit of a disappointing 23.5 points per game, almost 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and John Wall, the impact signing, the point guard off the bench. He is running things to perfection. Jaden Hardy having a huge sophomore season right under him too, with 16 points a game, 3 assists, a couple of boards. You really can't be mad at that production. Tim Hardaway Jr. and Kenyon Martin Jr. are both doing their thing off the bench. It looks like Josh Green, Dwight Powell, Covington, there's Looney, and wow, it even looks like Derek Lively has gotten some minutes. Maybe there's been some injuries that have allowed him to play, but he's put up some admirable numbers for his rookie season. And there's our first injury. Grant Williams with a spinal injury, 2 to 4 months. That really sucks. I'm really intrigued to see how that injury is going to affect the Mavericks throughout the rest of the season. So let's go ahead and sim all the way through all 82 games, and we'll see what happens. April 14th, the last game of the season. Simulate. Here we go. Again, the win-loss column is in the bottom right. Contract extension, don't worry about it. The Mavs are putting together some wins. They are above 40 wins and counting. Can they get to 50? 45, 6, 7, 8, 9. The Mavericks will finish with 51 wins and Luka Doncic will win MVP. The Slovenian superstar put together a wonderful season, averaging 33.5 points, 11 rebounds, and just missing the triple-double with 9.9 assists, 1.7 steals, 53% from the field, a blistering 47% from 3, and making a good amount of his free throws as well. A well-deserved MVP for Luka Doncic. How far can he take this team? In the standings, the Dallas Mavericks finished second in the West behind the Los Angeles Lakers with a record of 51 and 31. After the play-in is decided, we will see who their first-round opponent is. Before we get to the playoffs, we have to look at the stats. There's Luka's MVP season. Kyrie finishes with 25 a game, 5 assists, a little over 4 rebounds. Jaden Hardy, like I said, a huge sophomore season. It would be so good to see him get up into the 15, 16 point range off the bench. That would help the Mavericks out a ton. He's going to finish with 3 assists and 3 rebounds as well. John Wall, a spinal injury, out with the season. Apparently the Mavericks are just breaking backs everywhere. Ignore what I just said about breaking backs, but here's the rest of the Mavericks roster. Dwight Powell, Kevon Looney, Josh Green still chipping in some good minutes off the bench. And there's another broken back, a spinal injury to Grant Williams. That really sucks. But the Mavericks seem like they're ready to take on the playoffs, so let's go check it out. So after sorting out the play-in games, the Dallas Mavericks have a rematch with the Los Angeles Clippers. It is time to get some revenge for what happened in the previous couple years. And in the first round, the Mavericks send home the Clippers in 4 games. It is a quick sweep. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, will be seeing ya. Let's check out some of the stats. Game 1, Luka explodes for a 40-point triple-double, 15 assists. Kyrie, awesome secondary scorer, and a pretty good game from Kenyon Martin Jr. In game number 2, Luka again with a huge triple-double. Hardy shows up. Game 3, another big game. Kyrie goes for 42. Luka is averaging a triple-double throughout this series. But enough of the first round. It is time for another rematch, the second round of the NBA playoffs. The Mavericks see the Phoenix Suns, and they send them home in 6 games. Your Dallas Mavericks are moving on to the Western Conference Finals after beating the Suns in 6. Let's check the box score. Game 1, Devin Booker and KD both go for 30, but Luka Doncic is helped out by Jaden Hardy, and the Mavericks unfortunately fall short. Game 2, the Mavericks blow them out by 55 points behind 40 and 39 from Kyrie. Looks like guys were shooting the heck out of the ball. Game 4 comes along, Mavericks win that as well. Another big game from Jaden Hardy. The sophomore is showing out in the playoffs. Just a fantastic second round out of the Mavs. Now it is time for the Western Conference Finals. Joel Embiid on the other side of the bracket advances to the finals, but what will happen in the Mavs series? They are up 3-1. Can they close it out? Let us see. Simulate round, Luka Doncic, your conference finals MVP, with a spectacular 32 points, 9.6 assists, and 8.6 rebounds. The Mavericks are back in the NBA Finals, where they will face off against Joel Embiid's 76ers. Let's get straight to it. Simulate playoffs, and they lose. The 76ers have defeated the Mavericks in 6 games to win the NBA championship. That's a heartbreaker. To get to the very top of the mountain and fall hurts quite a bit, but it was a fantastic season nonetheless. An MVP award, Jaden Hardy's emergence, Kyrie playing second fiddle, and so much more. It was a wonderful season for the Mavs. A 51-31 regular season record, it would be nothing short of fantastic for the 2023-2024 NBA season. We can only hope that the Mavericks in real life can get anywhere close to repeating what they've done here in the simulation. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for all your support on all of the content I've been pushing out. I'm typically not a 2K YouTuber, but if you like Maverick stuff, if you like NBA, if you like 2K, feel free to subscribe and stick around. Thank you guys so much for watching.